All right, let's get right into it. AI, it's totally reshaping our world, right? It's creating these jobs that, honestly, we couldn't have even dreamed of just a few years back. But, and this is a big but, at the very same time, it's bringing up these kind of subtle risks to how we work and even how we think. And that's the real paradox we're going to unpack today.
So let's start with this number, $335,000. Now, what do you think that is? It's not some lottery win. It's not a crazy CEO bonus. Nope, it's a salary for a job that's basically brand new.
Yeah, you heard that right. An AI company called Anthropic, they posted a job for something called a prompt engineer, and get this, the salary was up to 335 grand. And we're not talking about a job for someone with, 20 years of hardcore coding experience. This was for an AI whisperer, basically someone who's a master at talking to machines.
And boom. This is where we get to the heart of the paradox. On one side, you've got these incredible high-paying jobs popping up. But on the other side, there's this nagging question that's starting to get louder. What if the very tools that are building this amazing future are also, dulling our own minds, making us a little less sharp? Okay, so first, let's talk about the good stuff, the promise. You can think of it like a new gold rush. Because look, before we get into the dangers, we really have to get why everyone is so hyped up about all these new jobs and the economic boom that AI is kicking off.
So, what even is a prompt engineer? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like programming, but you're just using plain English. Instead of writing lines and lines of complicated code, your job is to craft the perfect sentence, the perfect instruction to get an AI to give you exactly what you need. You're basically the translator between what a human wants and what the AI can do.
And listen, this isn't just some quirky flash-in-the-pan job title. It's a really serious role. These folks are designing and refining prompts, sure, but they're also building huge libraries of them for their companies to use. They're working with marketing, with the dev team, with customer service, and this is super important, they're also kind of the ethical watchdogs, making sure that AI isn't spitting out biased or harmful stuff.
And you know what? The numbers totally back this up. Research from Nesta shows that creative and STEM jobs, the fields that are getting really tangled up with AI, are set to grow more than twice as fast as the average job in the UK. So we're not just talking about a couple of cool, high-paying gigs here and there. This is a massive shift happening across the whole economy.
But like any gold rush, there are dangers, right? So now it's time to flip the coin and look at the other side of this paradox. What are the hidden costs, the cognitive costs of outsourcing more and more of our actual thinking to machines?
This quote I saw from a university teacher on Reddit, it just nails the problem perfectly. They said they've noticed a sharp decline in their students' problem-solving skills. The students can get an AI to spit out knowledge, no problem. But asking them to actually apply that knowledge in a new situation, total non-starter. They just can't do it.
And believe it or not, there's actually a scientific term for this. It's called cognitive offloading. And yeah, actual research confirms it's a legitimate concern. But think about it. This isn't a totally new idea. Remember how we all stopped doing math in our heads once calculators were everywhere? Or how we kind of lost our sense of direction once we had GPS? It's the same principle. When we let a tool do the thinking for us, those mental muscles can start to get weak. It's literally use it or lose it, but for our brains. Okay, so where is this cognitive offloading potentially happening the most? Well, data from Statista shows the industries jumping on the generative AI train the fastest are marketing, tech, and consulting. It makes sense, right? These are the fields on the absolute cutting edge, getting all the amazing benefits, but they might also be the ones facing the biggest risk of this brain drain effect.
The danger here isn't just about our personal skills getting rusty. It's also about ethics, big time. When a company decides to replace people with AI, they're wading into some deep moral water. You can look at it through a few different lenses. There's the utilitarian view, which asks, okay, does this help more people than it hurts overall? Then there's the deontological view, which is more about rules and duty, asking, are we treating our employees like people, with dignity, or just as cogs in a machine? These are the really tough philosophical questions that business leaders are grappling with right now.
So, here we are. We've got this incredible promise on one side and this really hidden, sneaky peril on the other. So, what do? How do we move forward? Well, the future probably isn't going to be all good or all bad. The real skill is going to be navigating the chaos.
The research firm Gartner has this quote that I think is just perfect. They say, AI won't cause a jobs apocalypse, but jobs chaos. And I love that distinction. It's not about everything being destroyed. It's about a huge, messy, but totally necessary shakeup where pretty much every single one of us is going to have to adapt.
So Gardner actually breaks it down into 4 possible ways this could play out in the workplace. Scenario 1, AI is the assistant, doing the stuff humans can't. Scenario 2, it's autonomous, running entire chunks of the business on its own. 3, it's an amplifier, making tons of us way faster and better at our jobs. Or 4, and this is the really wild one, it could trigger a full-on revolution, where we use AI to totally change the game in our fields. But here's the kicker, it's not an either-or. All 4 of these things could be happening at the same time, in different industries, or even within the same company.
And this all leads to what I think is the single most important idea in this whole conversation. We always frame it as man versus machine, right? But that's just the wrong way to look at it. The real future, the one we should be aiming for, is a human-AI partnership. It's about working together, not fighting against each other.
All right, so if we're going to be partners with AI, what's our contribution? What do we bring to the table? What's that special, uniquely human edge that's going to let us crush it in this new era? First up, creativity and innovation. Look, an AI is brilliant at remixing things it's already seen. It can analyze millions of data points and create something that fits the pattern. But it can't have a truly original idea. That spark, that aha moment of inventing something completely new, that's still our thing. That's 100% human.
Number 2 is a big one. Emotional intelligence. An AI can be taught to recognize the words for sad or happy, but it can't feel empathy. It can't truly understand a client's anxiety, or inspire a team that's feeling defeated, or offer genuine, compassionate care. That stuff, that's way beyond what an algorithm can do.
And third on the list is complex problem solving. We're talking about those messy, real-world problems where there's no clear instruction manual. Making a big, strategic bet when you don't have all the facts. Sorting through with thorny ethical issue, using your gut and your life experience to make a judgment call. That is where we shine. That's where human wisdom is absolutely irreplaceable.
And of course, it doesn't stop with those 3. There's a whole list of other human skills that are becoming more valuable than ever. Things like working well with others, communicating clearly, just having good old-fashioned judgment, being comfortable with tech, and maybe the biggest one of all, just being willing to keep learning forever. That adaptability, that's what's going to separate the people who thrive from the ones who, get left in the dust.
Which brings us to the final and most important takeaway. Success in this new age isn't about trying to outcalculate a computer. You'll lose every time. It's about doing what the machines can't. It's about doubling down on what makes us human, being more creative, more empathetic, more strategic. So at the end of the day, the question isn't, is an AI going to take my job? The real question is, how am I going to use my uniquely human skills to completely reinvent it?